Well, I guess it's time. I guess it's time to do the thing. Hi. How's it going? It's Order 42. I'm Rob. And man, I am I am sleepy. So hopefully we can have a fun show tonight. But we've got Robert in here. We've got Ricky in here who looks like he's a little irritated. Okay, hi bye. AEW Dynamite time. No one disturb me. Okay, Ricky, you do your thing, okay? Thank you for stopping in though. And Rachel is here too. It's good to see you. It's good to see you guys. It's all good, man. Hey, Ricky, you got priorities? That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with my face and everything. Um I am freaking sleepy. Is all I'm saying. Freaking sleepy. And I don't know why. The glory of having a PC and TV. Well, good. Good. I mean, I do commentary, but I know nothing about wrestling. Hey, he ran across the ring and he clotheslined that dude, and then holy crap. Oh, I can't believe that happened. Whoa. 2.5 weeks. To what? Retropalooza? We're getting close. We're definitely getting close. And Phil Holland is here. Welcome, Phil. Good to see you. But no, I seriously don't get it. I don't understand what the deal is with the insomnia. I don't know. Like last night, I did you miss much? No, Rufus, you didn't miss much at all. Welcome. Good to see you. Retro pizza. That's right. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. And, Wraith is going to be flying in. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. It's always a good time. It's always a good time. And I'll have to get Eric to sign the book that's on the way. I'm just saying. If you didn't know, 8-Bit Eric wrote a book about his career in wrestling. So I'm interested to pick that up and read it. Last week was strange not having you talk to us, but I did enjoy it. You let homie railroad you. Don't do that again. You're the host, bro. No, here's the thing. I wanted him to talk. I wanted him to just say what he wanted to say. But, toward the end it was like, okay, we're wrapping up. But I mean, it was all good. I thought it went really well. And I thought we had a good time. I mean, I had a good time just listening to him talk about that stuff. I just, like I said, I feel like such a novice in all of that. So, but it's all good. It was a huge commercial for his content. Well, I mean, here's the thing though. If somebody's going to be on my show, I want them to be able to promote what they're doing. And I think his stuff is cool. I think his stuff is really cool. So, and Bucho is here. Welcome, Bucho. Good to see you. I'm going to try and sell a bunch of stuff to get money for that Mac Mini. Mac Mini, huh? I do think that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I just wanted to see how it would go. And is that Flo? Flo B? Hello there. Welcome. Good to see you. I don't know if I don't think I've seen you in chat before. But regardless, welcome. It's good to see you. Now, I will mention right off the top, as I did last week, the ads, I have no control over that anymore. I used to be able to shut that off. You ruined my friend's hair. Wait a minute, this is a day late. Well, I mean, Tuesday night. Tuesday night, it's Ahsoka time. It's Ahsoka time now. So at least until the end of Ahsoka, the live show is going to be on Wednesdays. Oh, Flo B. Gotcha. Carbonite, welcome. Good to see you. Wednesday until Ahsoka is over. So we've got 5 more episodes. So, first time discovered you yesterday with your Star Wars prequels fan edit. So after binge watching your content, I'm here. Well, Flo, I appreciate that. That means a lot. That's awesome. I love it. I love to hear that. I mean, here's the thing. I'm all over the place at the best of times, and I try to do reviews where I'm a little more focused on one topic. So I appreciate it. Um, I mean that's awesome. I think that's great. Thank you. Rachel says, I agree with you. When I have you on, I want your talkings. Well, here's the thing though. Square Painter has never been able to do his own thing. So I wanted to give him that opportunity. And it was at that point, it was kind of like, okay, go, just go. I'm here to support, pull up websites and things like that when applicable. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I don't know. I had a good time with it. My thing is, I don't know if I want to tackle a whole nother show right now. It's not that I've got a ton going on, but I've been, I don't know. It's been weird. I'm getting antsy. I want to work on this second draft, and I'm kind of at a point now where we need to talk more. And there's been a lot of, I'm not going to say drama, but we haven't gotten together with the boys in a few weeks. So it's kind of like, I want to get moving on that second draft and get that done so that we can really start moving forward with the next step. But then again, I'm also, honestly haven't helped much with Billy lately with getting the Kickstarter and Indiegogo stuff done. But that's been a big focus for him. So I get it. But I'm getting antsy, and I'm in a weird kind of way. Order 42 is the thing that I really love doing, but I want to make another movie. That's really what I want to do. So that's what I want to do. I just lost you a minute due to ads. Okay, so here's, like I said, the ads are out of my control now. There's not an option to just leave ads off anymore. It's an automatic thing. You either let YouTube do it, or I would have to run them manually. So I was just like, okay, I don't think like that. So YouTube's just doing its thing now. So it's thing. Can you be on an episode of Order 42? Do you want to, Rufus? If you want to, let me know. We'll talk. We have to have something to talk about, unless you just want to be on while we go through the stuff and chat with chat like I normally do. I meant when you are my guest, right? Oh, I see what you mean, Rachel. I get what you mean. So you mean when you have someone on, you want them to be the focus. I get that. And that's exactly how I felt. Hold on a second. Rosario Dawson is awesome. What a Star Wars nerd, letting a Disney show change your schedule. Hey, it's a thing. I want to do that. I want to watch that. And it's also watching it with my wife, us talking for a few minutes, kind of getting her feedback, and then coming in here doing a review. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy getting that split second. Hey, here's what I think. I like that. So, and you enjoyed when Square was on. Okay, Ricky, good. Rufus 42. What's an AD? Assistant director? Did I say something? Oh, what's an ad? I got what you mean. Yeah, I mean, that's just a thing now. It's just a thing. I don't know. I can't not pay for premium. You can't run them manually until you have 40 people watching them. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. Okay, so that's why I don't have a choice. Okay. Well, there you go. Because we've never had 40 people in here. That's okay. I enjoy that you guys are here. That's what I enjoy. What's the deal with PlayStation raising the price on premium? I mean, I don't know. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You would love to come on? Well, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Rob has that narrator voice like a documentary. Well, part of that is the wonderful mic setup that I have. The wonderful audio. I don't have any issue with you on Wednesdays because I know I'm not closing at work. I can chat and watch AEW at the same time. Well, all right then. All right. I've never been able to run ads. I've gotten 30-ish people, but 40 is nuts. Is that what that says? Again, the stupid heart's in the way. I can't. I'm guessing 40 is nuts. Okay. Well, there you go. My camera and mic is dope. Not sure if you ever watch my content, but I won't let you down. Oh, I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have a Rufus Order 42. I was going to say something slightly dirty, but you know what I mean. Let's get on here. Let's do it. I mean, if you want to. If you want to. I'm going to say like a smash-a-thon or something, but that doesn't sound right, does it? So here's the thing. I might, just because I'm a little sleep deprived. Hey, you might get some weird stuff tonight. I'm just saying. You might get some weird stuff. When's the next Discord? I'd like to make sure I don't annoy you first. I've never met a single person that I can't work around. Okay? That's the way it is. I've never had that. So, I think it'd be cool. You're strange people. It's okay, Rufus. I mean, I'm pretty weird. I have a freaking stormtrooper helmet with aluminum foil on it, so the aliens don't get my thoughts. What do you think of that? Is that weird enough? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I annoy Rob, I'll just break your neck. He did it to another guy before. Okay, well, that is a thing. I'm trying to forget that thing. Holy crap. Can you imagine if Rob fell asleep an hour from now? Oh, just sleep? I don't know if I could sleep in this chair because it has no headrest. So I'd be like, you could just look at in my nose for 2 hours. That would be gross. I don't understand how people would do that. Like, I don't know what I do in my sleep. What if I'm like touching my butt and stuff? I don't know. I've slept on stream a few times. So embarrassing. Really? I don't know. Trance. I remember that movie. Yeah. Rosario Dawson. The old birthday suit, you know? Oh, and no liquid tasting tonight because I have this going which is raspberry. And then what if I fart really loud? I don't know. But I have raspberry donut in here. And then I remember the liquid that I made. I made one that was like a strawberry gelato cone thing. It just tastes like strawberry ice cream. It tastes great, and it's in there. But yeah, I haven't made it through another bottle yet. So, but don't worry, we'll have another liquid tasting. There's a lot to come. So, yeah, I'm afraid to stream drunk. It happens, no shame. Oh, you're not afraid to stream drunk. I've told you. I thought that I might do this and then do a stream, and then I'm like, it would just be me going strawberry. Yeah, it's a strawberry gelato waffle cone e-liquid. And it's the thing is though, all it just tastes like strawberry ice cream. I don't get the cone at all. So I don't know. I have an episode of Grimm going on the TV. How very random to cone across that. Come across that? Grimm? I've never done a not high stream. I need to slow my brain down. I'm a mess. Oh, okay. Well, dude, we need to do. You asked earlier about Discord. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what we have going. Because of course it's a holiday weekend, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to check with April because I don't know what she has going on. I know that there's uh one day this weekend she's gonna be going over to her parents' house. Now I don't know if that's gonna be something that I'm gonna be doing too. I don't know. So we're gonna have to play it by ear. But we want Rufus on a Discord stream, right? So what about Sunday afternoon? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if that's a good time for her, but I'm just throwing it out there. Because Rufus, you said you're off Sundays and Mondays, right? You know? Twisted Metal was fun. Just finished it. I haven't seen that. I don't have Peacock anymore. What did I call it on Poop Dick? Peacock Poop Dick. I don't remember what I called it on in Discord. But no, I don't have that. You'll call into work before I work sober. Okay. See, it's weird. To me, that's interesting because that is someone who has gotten used to it, right? I am not like that. If I take one puff of that, I'm out for like 2.5 hours. I'm useless, completely useless, because it's the what, indica or whatever. I'm done. I am done for like 2.5 3 hours. Done. And it's hard to figure out when to actually do it. Like it is kind of fun, but it's also, I know I'm going to be useless, like completely useless. So I don't know. Twisted Metal not in UK yet, so F it. There's that, if I was sponsored by a what do you call it? Uh ExpressVPN or one of those, I don't know. Are those cool? Does anybody use those? I don't know. I've never thought about doing that, but I kind of want to do it. The whole VPN thing, and try out the different, because I'll just say this. That some people know this. A lot of my growth on this channel came from doing those Indian movie reviews. I kind of want to do another Indian movie review. The problem is a lot of them, especially the ones that people keep requesting or have requested me to watch, they're not available in the States. So I'm like, I can't go around buying these movies. So I've got to find them streaming somewhere. I can't find them. So I kind of think maybe I need to get a VPN, so I can watch other countries' stuff. But I don't know. I've never done it. You have Sunday off. Okay. You just like to get a feel for what kind of friends we are before we stream. Oh, okay. I get you. I get you. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun anyway. But anyway, I'm a provider for my mom, so I work from home. Okay. Working a lot right now, so you won't be off. Okay, Ricky. Well, that's going to be weird because you are always on. You're almost always in the Discord stuff. You put holes in people's too, so it's illegal AF but necessary. I put holes in babies high. Oh, gotcha. I don't know what you're doing, but just do it now. No time like the present. Dearest Abby, welcome. Good to see you. How about Monday, Labor Day? Is anyone else off? Well, see, that's the thing. April's off too. So that's why I'm like, I need to check with her to figure out what the best time is. I know that there's a lot of times it's like, usually what she likes to do is one day she'll spend the day or part of the day over at her parents' house. And then the other day she'll spend we'll either go do something or she'll spend the day doing crafty stuff. And man, she's done some crafty stuff. Just a lot. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. But yeah, so I need to figure it out with her. My brain works too fast. I just can't. I get it, man. I get it. Like one of my good friends from high school, same way. He can't go without it. So it's one of those things I get. But me, I'm out. I'm out. So I don't use a VPN except for work when working from home. Okay. So VPN, okay. I should VPN for that. Agreed, we already know we get along, but I can talk faster than I can type. Okay. Well, I mean, I might just have to be like, hey, whoa, whoa. I'm just kidding. There was a couple of times when I was kind of like, can I get a word in? I'm just with Square Painter. But hey, here's the thing. The guy had a lot to say. And when somebody's got a lot to say like that on a subject like that, I just want to let him go. And I enjoyed the hell out of that stream. It was fun. That was a fun one. I work at a tattoo studio. Head piercer. Thought that was player character knowledge at this point. No. And yeah, I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, you put holes in babies. What? And then I'm like, oh, piercings. Gotcha. I like the UFO chat, by the way. I might see things differently from Square Painter, but the dude's energy. I mean, right? The guy had energy for sure. Who is Merrick? Merrick? It's weird that you say that. I've been thinking about that today too. Voice was cool, right? Cool voice. I've got a lot of thoughts. But, I mean, we don't know yet, right? That's one of those where we can sit here all day long and go, okay, there's this person from Legends. There's this person from the video games. I'm doing it again. Why? I don't know. There's people from the shows, the different shows that it could be. There's so many questions. There's so many questions. But the one I have an idea of who I think it is, but I don't know how they would pull that off without it being kind of like oh, well, this just happened. And I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of stepping back and just there's sometimes when I really like to speculate about something, and then on a show like this, for whatever reason, I'm really just like, okay, just I'm not going to get in the way. Just tell me the story. Don't if you want me to figure it out, you'll show me how to figure it out. Right now, it's intentionally being kept a secret. So for me, it's like, why speculate? You know what I mean? Speculate with us. Tell us. Do you want me to tell you really? Because the thing is it doesn't, I don't see how it makes sense. But I kind of feel like they're headed, I don't know. I just get a feeling. I'll just say it. I don't think it's Starkiller, even though there has been rumors that what's his name? What's the guy's name? What's the actor's name? He's been in a lot of things. I can see his face. I can hear his voice. He played Maul. He played Emperor. Sam Witwer. Yes. Sam Witwer. Yeah. A lot of people are saying, hey, this is Sam Witwer. What if it's Ezra? What if it's Ezra? It could be Starkiller. It could be another one of the other Jedi that are, that we haven't heard from in a long time. So yeah, it's a thing. Bucho says hopefully Ventress. That would be cool. Although Ventress has a story that would take her away from this. So just saying. Well, here's the thing. Abby, I don't like doing spoilers. There's really not much to spoil in episode 3. It's so short, and it's mostly just like an action scene. But there was no information that I got from that episode that made me think Ezra. It's just for whatever reason today I started thinking about it, and I went, that would be an interesting twist. That they're kind of, in a way, Sabine Sabine herself is looking for Ezra, and he's right there. That would be kind of interesting. I can't think of a way that would make sense. Barriss Offee, possible. I actually like Barriss Offee a lot. I like her character and I like her turn. But we haven't seen her since Clone Wars, right? So who knows? Could be. Finished off the tea. Remember, guys. Remember. Where is it? Where is it? Stay hydrated. Remember. Phil. I just read your comment. That's not what happened. Let's see, wait a minute. Let me go back for a second. Rufus said, tons of my people are on VPN just to stream. I don't get it. I just monitor my IPs I'm connecting to, and I'm not afraid to talk to my local FBI field agent. Okay. Well, I'm thinking about mostly because I don't stream online like that either, so I don't really have a need for it. Trying to get like if you're doing like a battle royale, you try to go to which time zone is popping right now. You know what I mean? I don't have a need for it other than basically getting access to other countries' content. That's really it. So they're probably just setting the scene. They did that a lot in Andor. No information, just scenery. Yeah, and it's good. I actually liked this episode the best as far as the way that it felt. It felt more at ease. Like those first two episodes felt like they were trying to get their footing, and the editing was a little loose, meaning it seemed like there was a lot of space between conversation, like one person talks. So it's like, so how's it going? And it stays on him. And then cuts over. Oh, I'm doing okay. And then the camera stays on him. And it's like, why is there so much space there? There is a lot of acting going on with their face and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of giving you some other clues as to what they're thinking or whatever. But I just felt like it needed to be tightened up. Like I feel that hour and a half could have been probably an hour 10. Just with, moving things around and just tightening up the story, because for me, it's like Star Wars needs, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say Star Wars needs a quick pace, but it doesn't need a quick pace. It just needs a pace that makes sense for the story that you're telling. And I feel like this is more of an action-based, more of a mainstream sort of show. Andor to me is a more adult show. So you can take your time a little bit more, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about the two. Star Wars is more of a mainstream, more eyes are on it, get the thing moving, So I don't know. I just felt like it was like, it's moving along. And it's funny, my wife brought up the fact that Ahsoka's constantly crossing her arms, and I'm like, I didn't notice it until she said it. Then I'm like, oh yeah, she did do that. But the disturbed voice of Marok reminds me a lot of Starkiller, though, and that's true. A lot of people have said that, but it's like, I don't know, man. The thing is with Starkiller, I guess my thing is I don't have any attachment to that because I didn't play those games. I saw the gameplay and was like, okay, this is just another Jedi superhero game, and it's just not my thing. So it's not for me. Not for me. Boonsta, welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I was like, I don't know about Starkiller, but here's the thing. If it is, as long as it makes sense with the story and all that stuff, I'm fine with it. Wraith, welcome. Good to see you. If it's Ezra, my eyes will roll hard. Yeah, but I can see that being the twist. A twist. But this time I have to go. We're going to hang out with my friend before he leaves back to the UK, since that's where he's stationed for the next few years. Ricky, good to see you, sir. And again, we'll talk in Discord, try to figure out a time that we can do it. So, do the old Discord hangout. So, yeah. Wait. Star Wars doesn't do well with a slow burn. I mean, for the most part, I agree with you, but Andor was like, oh, Andor to me I think it's the best story and overall package that we've gotten as Star Wars fans. And I'm talking about movies only, or movies, TV shows, not animated series, because the animated series are its own thing, and it's not a set story that the animated series are telling. You know what I mean? They're more episodic, so they don't count. I think Andor is the best Star Wars content since Empire. I think it's better than Return of the Jedi. I think it's more fulfilling and a better overall arc in that first season than any of the prequels, which I like. I'm not one of these prequel haters. Even though I think episode 2 is one of the worst. It's really one of the worst Star Wars movies. It's hinging on bad, the way that movie works. It's awkward, that movie. But I still like it. There's still a lot that I like there. And even with 7, 8, and 9, I have my problems, which I've talked about at length. But there's still things I like about those. All that being said, I still think that Andor is probably the best since Empire. I think it's better than Return of the Jedi as far as telling a coherent story that flows well. I just loved it. I just loved it. Realized today I totally stole Tolkien's logo. Mine just doesn't have the J. Oh, well. You thief. Is there do I have something that shows that off easily? Like that? So without the J? Interesting. Thief. And then Jinzu, welcome. Good to see you. Ahsoka feels like a sequel of Rebels in a big way, even with how the story is told and shown. Yes, I agree with you. There are problems. Just like any Star Wars content, there are things that I go, that could have been done a little better. You know? Even Empire Strikes Back has moments of, come on. That could have been done a little better. Anybody goes, oh, Empire's perfect. Really? The Wampa scene? Really? Oh, really? Does that even need to be there? Why is that there? I don't know. But anyway. It won't be Star Killer. We all know it's Salacious Crumb. I mean, you have to play them. They hold up really well today. Yeah, I don't like I've never been a big fan of, and look, I've gotten flack on this, but I've never been a big fan of using force powers at will in a video game, because it gives you the wrong impression. The force isn't used for attack, you know? It's used for knowledge and defense. Never for attack. That's what Yoda says. So the act of going through and just flinging swords, I mean, it's fun, but I think what it has done over time, it's conditioned people to expect that kind of action in a movie. And I don't like that. It doesn't need to be that way. They're monks. And it's one of my favorite lines in the prequels is now I can't remember exactly how it's said. They're guardians of peace, not soldiers. It's something Mace Windu says, but it's one of those things that makes you go, yeah, exactly. That's why this is all wrong. You know, the fact that they're heading up the Clone Wars, it's wrong. So anyway, that's a weird thing. Mark, welcome. Good to see you, and thank you for that. For some reason, I don't know why my Streamlabs just doesn't work well. I don't know if it's YouTube or what. Let's see if I do that. Will it actually happen? No. Hopefully it'll come up, Mark. But if not, thank you. Thank you for that donation. Good to see you. I hope Merrick is just no one. I'm fine with that too. Darth Jar Jar Binks. Better than Rogue One? Yes. In fact, I'm one of those that I feel like Rogue One overall is really all about the last act. The rest of the movie is a mess. And look, it's me as Qui-Gon. Look. Romantic face. Carbonite did that. Made me Qui-Gon. You see that? You see that crap? Look at that. I just think that's cool. Thank you for that. Jedi business, go back to your drinks. Totally stole it on accident. Okay. All right. The start of A New Hope is a total slow burn. A bunch of scenes of droids messing around the desert, and we don't even meet the main character for 45 minutes or whatever. I mean, you're not wrong. But I mean, that is the first movie, and it is late 70s filmmaking, so. Bendak Starkiller was a dope Mandalorian in Knights of the Old Republic. I haven't played it. The OG last name of yeah, that it was Luke Starkiller. Yes, absolutely. Excitement, adventure. Jedi craves not these things. Merrick being Ezra would be the cheapest twist in the history of twists. Dave is better than that. I mean, I hope so. But I got the feeling, I got the thought, and I was like, oh, please don't. I don't know. Like, I don't know how it would work. But I could see that being a Hollywood-y kind of thing to do. But in reference to Star Wars video game Force comments, in the words of the Virgin Mary, come again? Yeah, that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. I don't like overpowered Jedi. I don't like Vader being overpowered. I don't like Maul Maul was just a good fighter. He didn't really use the Force in like this crazy way. But the games I'm talking about are like Dark Forces and stuff like that, where you're constantly force pull for, throwing your lightsaber and all this stuff. It makes you, and again, this is an opinion that's not popular, okay? But it's one of those things where it irritates me when I see Jedi or Sith being too powerful. The Force is something that gives them the ability to do things, but it's not meant to be, they're not meant to be superhero, So, there you go. Rogue One is perfect. Really? You like that beginning with what is it? I just feel like, and Bucho would go, feel like what? I feel like it's just so slow. And that I remember the first time that I watched it, I came out of the theater thinking the only character that was really memorable to me was K2SO. And that's not good. That the droid is the most interesting character in the whole movie. Because I feel like Jin, and again, I'm not trying to blast Rogue One or anything like that. If you love Rogue One, I'm happy. Seriously, I'm happy. I love that people love things or like things, whatever. But for me, it was just, Jin was like, she seemed really wishy-washy. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And then, oh yeah, well, maybe because she saw her dad get killed or whatever. But it just felt like It felt like a big turn, and it felt quick. Donnie Yen wasted. I agree with that, but at the same time, he was one of my favorite parts. But couldn't remember his name because I think they only say it like twice, right? I don't know. Here's the thing, and I want to make this clear. Bad Star Wars or Star Wars that's kind of on the in the lower tier for me is still a great movie. It's still better than most stuff out there, at least to me. Like, I would rather watch, I would say, what is it? Episode 2. Let's stay away from the sequel talk, okay? Episode 2, I'd rather watch episode 2 than most stuff that comes out. That's just my thing. That's just my thing. So yeah, it's still good. America's Bucho? Possibly. In The Force Unleashed, you play Vader's apprentice, so it makes sense that you unleash the dark side on your enemies. True, but there's also is it in Force Unleashed, or is it one of the Knights of the Old Republic when somebody's pulling a Star Destroyer out of the sky? That's too much. That's just too much. It looks freaking awesome. It looks amazing, but it's too much. I don't like the too much stuff. Like, to give you an example, there is a part we all know the part in Rise of Skywalker, right? You've seen Rise of Skywalker, right? When Rey is holding on to the ship, I feel like that's too much. To me, that just feels like too much. In Clone Wars, and this is toward the end, so I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but Ahsoka does sort of the same thing. She's preventing a ship from leaving. You might say, well, Rob, size matters not, right? True, but it feels a little OP to me. And I don't feel like the Jedi or Sith are as interesting if they're just superheroes. They're just not. But there you go. Do I like the Clerk Star Wars discussions? Well, I mean, yeah, that's what got me into Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith, so I mean, I enjoy those. I mean, some of them are a little out there, but they're fun. The Force exists in all living things. That's true, Phil. That's true. Thoughts on anime Star Wars, Rob? Black Liggerman. What do you mean? Because I know that I've seen that beautiful TIE Fighter short that someone did. I wish they would do a whole movie like that. I liked Star Wars Visions, even though I watched Volume 2 of Visions and I can't really remember any of them. They were just fine. The first volume of Visions I really liked. There were some of those that I really dug. But that TIE Fighter short, man, if you guys haven't seen that, it's like, I don't think it's only 3.5, 4 minutes or something. It's on YouTube. If you TIE Fighter Star Wars anime, if you look it up on YouTube, it's amazing. I want a whole movie like that. Or I'll even say there were some shorts that StarWars.com did that kind of summed up a lot of the movies in like these little 1.5, 2 minute shorts. I loved those. And I thought, man, make a whole movie like that. If you're going to remake, it's terrible to think this, okay? But if you're going to remake Star Wars, if you're going to try to reboot this thing, do it in animation and do it like awesome. And it would be great. You could pull off some of the things that Lucas could never do back then. But if you do it in that style, I'm telling you, that style of those little clips, and I can't remember what they are. I think they're just on StarWars.com, but they're amazing. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about there, Black Liggerman. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. But yeah, I would totally do it. More adverts, skipped it as it was a 45-minute video. What? Look, again, I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm sorry about the ads. If you get the ads, I apologize. It's YouTube took that control away from me. And I don't know I don't know why. I don't know why. And maybe I could just do it where I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to put the ads on. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to play with it, I guess. I don't know. But sorry about that. Wraith, I want to play other characters in the Star Wars universe like a bounty hunter, smuggler, or gangster as opposed to another Jedi or Sith. I'm down for that too. That's why that Ubisoft game coming out looks interesting. But I have to say I wasn't blown away by the few minutes that they showed off. I was kind of like, looks okay. Flo says, I understand your point of Jedi is no superhero, but where do you rank Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor, and all this? Because they hold back about that OP force you're talking about. True, but even to me, even that is right on that edge. I don't mind Jedi Survivor, but it still feels like it's a little bit on that. It's right on that edge. It's just so well done that it's hard to complain about it, you know? But at the same time, I wish it had been pulled back a little bit. Like, it feels like you can just use it whenever you want it, you know? I don't know. But here's the thing. I'm not the guy. I'm not the arbiter of Jedi knowledge or whatever. It's just an opinion of mine. I just feel like I don't. Here's an example. One of the worst mistakes that I feel, and again, my opinion, that George made in episode 1 is showing Jedi have super speed. And he's like, it's a standoff, let's go. And then they take off down the hallway. Why? All that did was open the door to people going, well, then why didn't Obi-Wan run down the hallway that fast to get to Qui-Gon and help Maul? Or help defeat Maul? There's a lot of reasons why that stuff. And then, of course, you know, the example or the I will say excuse is that, well, Jedi can only do that at certain points. But who makes those decisions? I just don't need them to be superpowered. You know? And when everyone said that Luke was gonna, you know, in the sequels, and again, I'm not getting into it, when they said we wanted to see Luke kick ass, and I'm like, man, I got what I wanted out of that. I thought it was awesome. And he did something that no Jedi ever pulled off. Now he died doing it. Spoiler alert for The Last Jedi, but I loved that. And he lived up to the legend. I loved it. I love that. But a lot of people are like, oh yeah, he died because he got tired. Okay. Yeah, that's simplifying. It's simplifying, but that's just the thing. It's like, I just don't like my Jedi being too superpowered. But yeah, you play as a smuggler Han Solo type. Yes. Yeah, and I can't even remember the name of it now. But no Jedi in sight, at least at the beginning here, at least what they're showing off. But it looks interesting. That's my Trek versus Wars argument. You can be anybody in a galaxy rather than just a military brat. Oh, I see what you mean. Well, and that's what's so frustrating about the stories they tell. The stories they decide to greenlight to move forward. And I'm talking about the movies, all that stuff. Tell an interesting story in the Star Wars universe. Go nuts. You can have a comedy in Star Wars. Totally. And have it be about, you know, the wacky people that come into the cantina. Or, you know, I don't know. You could seriously go nuts. You could have now, It's what I thought the Boba Fett series was going to be, was like a serious look at the crime underworld, but it was really just a springboard for Mandalorian, which made it even more frustrating. But you know what I'm saying? You can tell all kinds of interesting stories in Star Wars without having to get anywhere close to the Jedi or any of the characters we know. It's a big universe. It doesn't all have to tie in. You can just tell a good story, you know? And I don't know. I wish they had the. To me, it's like the movies. This is not how Disney looks at, or Lucasfilm, I should say. I keep saying Disney. In a lot of ways, Lucasfilm is on their own, doing their own thing. But there is some oversight. It's just how much. I feel like, this is my theory, that Lucasfilm has always had more oversight than Marvel. So there's been more pressure from Disney to Lucasfilm than Marvel ever got. That's a theory. I don't know if it's true, but that's my feeling. Anyway, I wish that they would take more risks with the TV stuff. Of course, the movies go nuts and do your big bang mainstream episode, whatever. But the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus should be the ones that are a little more risky, like Andor. Andor was definitely a risk and totally different than anything that came before. That's the first time that they've actually done something like that. And it's something that was like, man, a lot of people responded to it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If you hate overpowered Jedi, then this week's Ahsoka must have peed you off. Oh, you mean, okay, I see what you mean. No, that wasn't terrible. Wouldn't have been what I would have done. Here's a question. Let me this is not a spoiler, by the way. If you're watching right now and you haven't seen episode 3 of Ahsoka, I'm going to talk about something, but it's really not a spoiler. It's really not. But let's say you're flying in a spaceship. Okay? Flying in a spaceship. Your spaceship gets damaged to where you have no flight capabilities. Why is it you can always just get under the hood, like under the cockpit, and just start moving wires around and that fixes the damage on the outside? Why is that? It happens all the time. And it's one of those things that always makes me go, what? Why? How? But that's the thing. Jedi are way cooler when they're samurai monks with a few extra little magic tricks in their bag than when they're full-on sorcerers who can telekinetically throw spaceships or walkers around. I just think that's the way I look at it. Bucho, you and I. Psh, psh. Slap that. Your hand's so small. I can't. Actually, your fingers look incredibly long. Your fingers are almost as long as your arm. What is that? Anyway. Bucho, everybody. Disagree. Disney say to Lucasfilm, we want this released by X date. That's it. Really? Okay. Well, and the reason I say that is because, again, I keep going back to this. I've said it many times, but Bob Iger did a review or an interview on StarWars.com that came out on the Star Wars show. This was before The Mandalorian was released, and the amount of knowledge that he had with it, and the idea that he had notes for the directors and made sure that they followed those notes. It made me understand, okay, so in a lot of ways, Kathleen Kennedy is more of a producer for all the Star Wars content, or for all the Lucasfilm content, than the head of the studio. and it's really the head of Disney that's calling the shots. I don't know. I feel like in a lot of ways it makes sense, especially if you watch that interview with Bob Iger. This is before the Bob Chapek stuff, right? This is before Disney Plus, I think. But it was interesting him talking about it and saying things that made me go, wow, he really knows Star Wars. This isn't a oh yeah, this Star Wars with the robots and the they're and the Jedi with their lightsabers. No, this was somebody who was really tuned in. The terminology he was using was very Star Wars related. Like he was involved in The Mandalorian. So it made me more interested about. He even took the blame for George Lucas being mad about the sequel trilogy. It sounded like there were calls that were made that he made. And then especially if you look at The Rise of Skywalker, it appears to be more of a committee driven movie than a singular vision. It seems like, oh, we'll throw this in. Oh, well, you should throw this in. And it sounds like things that are there to try to maximize profit rather than tell the story in a way that makes sense. Okay, sorry. Bam. Done with the sequel trilogy. But that's just my opinion. Quantum armor. And that's why Bucho is popular with the ladies. That's true. It's true. Bucho doesn't watch my stuff anymore because I said controversial stuff about Betty White. I get it, but I miss him. Hey, it's okay. Had to step away for a bit mid-dinner prep. I'll be here lurking. Well, Abby, you do whatever you need to do. I'm just happy that you're here. That's really all there is to it. Speaking of Betty White, though. Yeah, we have to talk about it. Just really briefly, I just wanted to bring it up. I wasn't like Bob Barker's biggest fan or anything, but I grew up with him, right? And yeah, I have to acknowledge the passing of Bob Barker. And of course, there was that really great comment, post, whatever, that said that, Bob Barker got the closest to 100 without going over. I mean, look, I have to believe that that's a joke that Bob Barker would have approved of. I have to think that was one that, yeah. But the thing is, I grew up with Bob Barker, and yeah, but you know what? The man had a good long life. This is more of a, I mean, it's sad, but it's more of a, hey, good job, and let's look at his career. Let's celebrate him. You know what I mean? When you get to 99, it's hard to argue that, hey, you did okay, Look at the size of Disney as that's what Iger runs. I've worked for people like Iger. They have people who prep them for interviews. He's not running Lucasfilm. Oh, and not Gary. Welcome. Good to see you. And that's all you have to say on it. Hey, I totally get what you're saying, but it just didn't feel like that. And when he did his little memoir or whatever, and took the blame for a lot of the problems with the Star Wars sequels, just saying, it kind of made sense. I don't know. I just don't know, and we'll never know. That's the terrible thing about it, is that we'll never really know, for sure. But like, if you look at The Rise of Skywalker, it literally reads like somebody read a bunch of Reddit and wrote something in response to people's problems with 7 and 8. Like, where the hell did the Emperor come from? Please. Why? So frustrating. And as frustrated as I might get with something like The Mandalorian, with the Book of Boba Fett, with Obi-Wan. Well, okay, Obi-Wan had its moments too where it pissed me off. But Rise of Skywalker is to me is the worst thing they've done so far, by far. When you mess with the original trilogy and the meaning of the original trilogy, and you change it because you want to make some more money, oh, people like the Emperor, let's bring him back. No, he died. Anyway, sorry, sequel trilogy, get out of here. I was more torn when we lost Paul. I didn't like Bob. Not glad he's gone. Just didn't like him. The Happy Gilmore thing was rad. I mean, it was. It was. But like I said, I mean, Bob Barker, dude, the dude had a good run. He just had a good freaking run. You know? Oh, damn it. I should have brought this up when Ricky was here. Because I don't know how many of you are into the retro game scene as far as like the new handhelds and stuff like that. Does anybody follow that stuff? Is anybody into that? Like the Retroid Pocket and the I mean, of course, the Steam Deck, and then there's, all of these different things all these new handhelds that have come out. I think I'm going to get one. And here's the weird thing. I have a freaking Raspberry Pi that just sits here. But the problem is I don't like the way that it works. I don't like it. So, it's old though. It's definitely showing. I mean, I bought that like 3 years ago. So I'm wanting to get one of these new ones. Oh, look at this. Okay. Okay. You're all about that new handheld stuff. Well, well, not Gary, we may have to talk at some point. I love how Rob censors me when he reads my stuff. I mean, I try not to, I curse every now and then, but you never know who's listening. Because I'll just say this. I've been watching a stream when, my nieces and nephews were over, and they literally just walk through the room, and then the streamer it seems like it always happens. The streamer will say the worst thing he said in like 2 hours. He'll say it when one of my nieces or nephews walk through the room. And it's just like, damn it, So I try to keep it PG, man. So yeah. You put Emu Deck on your Steam Deck. Phil says, "I think you think you're gonna get a Steam Deck." Wraith. Again, we need to keep in touch, man. We need to keep in touch so we can figure things out, like what's gonna happen, how things are gonna go down. Hopefully, my sleep will freaking fix itself. You don't understand, man. The sleep is getting to me. Like I seriously almost started crying today because I had like 3.5 hours of sleep. I woke up at like 7 a.m. and I can't go back to sleep. I'm sitting there, and then at about 1 o'clock, it seemed like it didn't matter what I did. It seemed like somebody rang the doorbell, and then get up, deal with that, go back down, and just get there. I'm almost there. I'm almost asleep again. And a freaking plane flies over the house, just ripping it, F-18 or something. And I'm like, I can't. What's going on? So it's just one of those things where it just seems like it's been really frustrating. But anyway, what is the Steam Deck? It is that. So basically, in any game you can play on Steam, you can. Well, I say any game. They're pretty freaking awesome. They're pretty freaking awesome. And, they get up there. They get up there in price. But what I'm looking at doing is getting one of the lower end models. You know what I mean? So, give me just a second, actually. Sorry. Allergies. My nose was starting to run and I didn't want to just anyway. Uh yeah, so like so there's stuff like these, right? Like the Retroid Pockets, you know? And there's some with the sort of almost the Game Boy kind of look, and then there's some with almost a Switch kind of look. Dude, there's just so many. There's so many different ones. And I don't think I want to spend $400. I want to spend like 150. So, yeah. What games are you wanting to play? Anything I can get up to that point. I don't want to spend that kind of money because I can almost guarantee you what'll end up happening is I'll play it really, really hard for a while and then I'll just put it down and I'll forget about it. So I don't want it to be something where I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But like that right there, the Retroid Pocket Flip, I want that thing. That one. I want that. I think that looks awesome. So, and here's the other thing. I don't even know where you get ROMs anymore. And I know that uh a lot of these will not come with games. Is what I was going to say. I was looking at the different ones, sorry. Um so yeah, maybe we should just talk about it in Discord. Because especially when it comes to ROMs and stuff, you don't want to talk about all that on a thing. And even though a lot of them appear to come with games on Amazon, you can just buy them with games. But they're also like 20, 30, $40 more expensive. So Switch is nasty. I have a handheld NES and SNES. Handheld is the way. I have PSP and the Vita and a handful of DS and GBA. I had a Vita, and I actually jailbroke it or whatever, and then I ended up trading it in because I didn't play it. I had some systems on there, but I like this form factor a lot. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of that. You know? That form factor. Oops, shit. I cursed 4. Just screwed up everything. Hold on. We all good? Okay. We're all good. So yeah. What I'm wanting is something that's like $150. 150, 160, something like that. But we'll see. I tell you what's gonna happen. We're gonna have one hell of a good time, Wraith. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Want the Evercade line. What is that? Evercade. Evercade. Well, how much is it? Oh, wow. Okay. Those are probably, those look expensive to me. That looks expensive. Oh, 179. Oh, that's 179 pounds. British pounds. Okay. Oh, it's this, by the way. Is that what you're talking about? Stuff like that? That just looks higher. That looks high quality. That's kind of cool. But yeah. And then CBD, better sleep for me. Ever try melatonin? No, because I've never had this problem before. It's literally something that's happened like in the last month, I would say. So no, I've never looked at being able to sleep better. I've never had to. Never had this problem. I'm 47 years old, never had this problem. Uh, so my Steam library, I can play all those games like Monkey Island, Broken Sword, and my entire library. Yes, Phil, you can play all the games on Steam. You can play on Steam Deck. Plus, you can add, um, what is it? Size? I don't know what the correct terminology is. You're side loading apps onto it, and then you can play retro games on it too. But it's so damn big. It's just that's too much for me. I want something a little more, well, not just cheaper, but smaller. You know, I have little baby hands, so. And yeah, like what games, anything. I just want to play around with it. You know, SNES or further than that. No, like I like the fact that the Retroid Pocket Flip can play up to up to some GameCube, which I think is cool. But I don't know. That thing where it feels like kids walk in right as a streamer cusses or April walks in right as there's a nude scene, the coincidence psychology of that phenomenon is fun to look into. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't get it. I've never understood that. I've never understood it. It's crazy. Like Game of Thrones was like that, where literally nothing would happen. It would just be guys talking or, oh, a cool action scene or whatever. And as soon as April walks through, a chick takes off her top. Why? Why? That didn't happen in the last like 3 episodes, but for one time you walk in to get something from the kitchen or whatever. I don't know. It's just something. You can get ROMs, not hard. Okay. I just don't know where to look because back in the day it was all, torrents and things. Is that still a thing? I don't know. And yeah, I did have a modded Vita, but honestly, that form factor I was never crazy about. So I really like the fact that I really like the Retroid Pocket Flip thing. But I also am thinking there's one that I saw with and I don't know the names of them. But I've been watching Retro Game Core. You ever watch that channel? It's a great channel. He does reviews of all these things. And I know Wolfden does, RGT85 has been on and off. But yeah, you plan to spend 500 pounds plus, so look forward to it. Okay, Phil. Well, then yeah, there you go. The Evercade, you buy the cards of the games on set. That's right. I forgot about. I have seen that. Nature's Bounty melatonin. Melatonin 3 milligram will help. Okay. And thank you, Rufus, for asking everyone, please, nicely to like the stream. Of course, liking the stream gets it to more folks and blah, blah, blah. Helps the algorithm. Why do we have to worry about that? Just promote it. If people watch movie stuff or game stuff or whatever, just promote it. Just do it. Anyway. You can do all this on your phone. Oh, I know, but I want something separate. It's a weird thing. Okay, here's you want to know why? You want to know why? You really want to know why? I'll tell you why. Okay, so April got a bonus not too long ago, and I got some extra money too as a bonus, even though I don't bring in any money to the household really. But regardless, I got a little bonus too. I got like $200. Now, do I have some other money that I can put with it? Sure. The money that our allowance that we get every month. Sure. Yeah, I do. But I want something around that $200 mark. I think it would be a nice prize for her bonus for me to get that. And it would also be something that she can play. Maybe. I don't know. But it's just I've been watching Retro Game Core for like just on and off. One will pop up and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. And then it got me thinking about how much I enjoy the Raspberry Pi in moments. Like there are moments, but there are things I just don't like about the way that works. It's too much finagling and all that stuff. I love the way that Retro Game Core seems to have it set up like it's a console, and that you literally just flip through your games and bam, you play them. That looks awesome to me. And so that's what I kind of want to go with, you know. Your sleep issue started a month ago, so right after you got re-obsessed with UFOs. Coincidence? Maybe. But see, but here's the thing, and this is what I don't get. There for like 2 weeks, I was watching them a lot, but I would have whole day or whole a few days in a row where I wouldn't have any sleep issues at all. And then there would just be one night where I'm like laying in bed, eyes wide open. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. And it's not like I'm thinking about UFO crap. I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking about, oh, I want to make sure that I watch this this movie or this show or whatever so I can do a review on it. And maybe, but it's like the normal stuff that I always think about when I'm going to sleep. It's just not stopping. And I'm not like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And yeah, I know I could emulate the retro stuff on my phone, but I don't want to do that. And I could do it on my iPad too. I know. And play it through a browser and all that kind of stuff. I know. But yeah, take that main machine from Billy. Yeah, that is pretty cool, I got to say. If Rob starts carving a mountain out of mashed potato that we can worry, yeah. Yeah, I'm not at that point yet. And the thing is, even with Square Painter, having Square Painter on, uh, that whole thing is like, and it was actually Bucho that got me thinking about, like, man, maybe I am just kind of watching a lot of this stuff, and I'm just watching it. Like, oh, that's interesting. And then like I watched that whole Ross Coulthart video, his like some interview he did, and he said one thing that was like, whoa. And then the rest of the thing was a lot of stuff I'd already heard. So I was like, okay. So I feel like I've gotten to a saturation point almost with the current state of where we are. I feel like I've gotten caught up. Now, yeah, I could look at videos of past stuff, but it's really all about what's going to get released and what's the next step toward disclosure, if it even happens. That's where I am. So yeah, I'm kind of just like, yeah. So, but Bucho said something about extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And there's really not that much evidence. Sure, there's very, very reputable people, I would say, talking about this stuff, and that's really interesting. But we're at an impasse now. We're at that point where it's like, okay, we've seen what we're going to see, which is also part of the reason why I feel like doing a podcast about it, like with Square Painter, just probably wouldn't make sense. Just because I'm not like April said something the other day. She's like, "Man, you're like obsessed with this." And I'm like, "I don't feel obsessed. I feel this feels like, oh, this is interesting. I want to know about this." And then I got to a point where I'm like, "Okay, now I'm at a point where, okay." Now, I mean, sure, I got excited about it and all that, and I'm not saying I'm backing off of it. I just feel like at this point, we're at a point where, okay, now I feel like I'm caught up. And I'm ready to not hear any more stories. I'm ready to hear more evidence. That's kind of where I am. So Sunday for sure. What time? I don't know, Rufus. I don't know. I got to talk with the wife. Figure out what plans, because I don't want to make plans and then have to come back and go, "Oh, sorry guys," I need to talk with her. So I like having handhelds that play retro carts. For emulation, I have a laptop with a broken screen. Linux plays anything, can use any screen. Yeah, see, I mean, that's cool, but I've never been one, like, emulation has never been a problem for me. And I'm not into collecting a bunch of physical things that are going to take up a bunch of space in my house. That's just my thinking. And a lot of people, will will say, nah. But I'm just kind of like, oh, I just want to play what I want to play when I want to play it, and then put that one thing down. So VR is the way if you want to emulate. VR. You will never know the full truth. Too many stupid people or nutbags running around. Well, I mean, I think the biggest issue is that we've gotten to a point where a lot of this stuff has come out, but then now there's senators, that like the senator for, Virginia, where the CIA and a lot of these government groups or the Department of Defense, he's basically come out and said, yeah, we need to put a stop to this because this is it's kind of like it's like, I object. Reason? It's devastating to my case. That's basically what's happening. So it's the same thing. We're at that same point where now there's got to be a breakthrough. We had one breakthrough, and it was literally like taking one brick out of the Great Wall of China. So we need more bricks, and we're not at that point yet. But again, it doesn't mean I'm not interested, but I'm definitely not obsessed, and I'm definitely not like, oh man, I just want to talk about this stuff all the time. I'm just not at that point. Can we open a direct Discord or Instagram line? I suck at keeping up with Discord. Absolutely. Do we have one? I thought we had one open. Do we not? I don't even know. But yes, we'll figure it out. I don't do Instagram. I don't even know how Instagram works. So yeah. Aren't you in here? Aren't you in my... Yeah. I just waved at you. We'll start a little thread and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, so anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is UFOs are still there. If something new happens, I'll definitely want to cover it. Definitely want to talk about it. But at this point, I feel like, okay, I need to step back because I got like super excited, but then everything just stopped. And I thought, okay, we're going to hear what comes out of the skiff. Didn't happen. Okay, we're going to hear this. Didn't happen. All right. So now we're back at that point where, oh yeah, a lot of really valuable people are saying these things are happening. But we've had that before and then nothing happens. So what's the next step with the whole government thing now? That's what I'm interested in. Actual evidence. Irrefutable evidence. Like, when am I going to be able to play air hockey with an alien? When I can do that. Just kidding. You know what I mean? Oh man, I'm so freaking... My brain feels mushy today. Like I don't feel quick at all. So yeah, I definitely want to get a handheld. And yeah, UFOs are taking a back seat. And I can't sleep. So yeah. Do we want to get into some news now? Let's get into some news. Since we're talking about gaming. Yes, Robert brought it up earlier. What the hell is up with this? Did anybody see this? What is going on? Of course you probably did. If you're plugged into the gaming stuff, you probably saw this. PlayStation Plus price increasing across the board. Just the basic essential, which used to be $59.99 a year, is now $79.99 a year. And there was a point where today I was like, crap, I bought Diablo 4, the big bad crazy Diablo 4 on PS5. Does that mean if I don't get this, I won't be able to play Diablo 4. I don't think I will. I don't think I'll be able to. So this just sucks. I feel like this is like, I don't get the reasoning here. Why are they doing this? Does anybody know? I mean, other than, hey, we just want to make a bunch of money. We want that extra, I don't know. I saw that and it pissed me off. It just pissed me off. Did we freeze or something? You guys still there? Everything's still working, right? Excellent connection. Okay. Never mind. You guys are just staying quiet. It's okay. It's okay. That's what you're thinking? Oh, did you say something? Oh, you're still here. Okay. Sorry. Hello, Carbonite. Everything good? Cost of living and inflation has gone through the roof. I mean, it's just one of those things. It just sucks, you know? I just don't feel like I will say this wholeheartedly. I don't feel like I get the value from PlayStation Plus. I don't. The only reason I have it was why did I have it? I think I got it because it was on sale or something, like around Christmas. But it's just and the monthly games. Beer Chasers, what's going on? Good to see you. How are you? We were just talking about that PlayStation Plus crap. What the hell? But yeah. And does anybody have any thoughts on this? Because I think this is crazy. So Barbie is the number one movie for Warner Brothers ever. And then Oppenheimer is the number 2 R-rated movie of all time. That's crazy. It's crazy. Raising the price without adding anything was scummy. I have 11 months locked in at the highest tier. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, but did you pay for the year? Because if you did, yours, it won't go up or anything until whatever you paid through you're going to be good. It takes effect when the next time. Because the Xbox is better. Well, I enjoy playing the controller and everything on PlayStation. I don't like the controller as much on the Xbox, but guess what? I'll be playing on the Xbox a lot because I have Game Pass Ultimate, which is another thing. I can play Game Pass Ultimate on the Retroid game flip thing, the Pocket Flip, which I think would be cool. I know I could play it on a bunch of other things, but I don't want other things. I want a thing that can do a thing, and that's my thing. I don't know. It's probably stupid. All well, sir. Close call with Adalia, but ended up okay in my area. Well, Beer Chasers. That's good to hear. I briefly saw something about that the other day and was thinking, oh, okay. I didn't honestly think that it was going to be that bad, but hopefully everything's okay. I'm terrible about that. I don't stay in the news. But yeah, man, I just, Barbie, man, I'm just shocked. Now I haven't seen the movie. Maybe the movie's that good, but wow, I cannot believe that's the number 1 movie for Warner Brothers ever. And that Oppenheimer is the number 2 rated R movie of all time. That's crazy to me. But hey, you prefer ergonomic Dreamcast? Weren't those the weird square ones? Man, Loads of free games, classics catalog access to EA games catalog. Oh, you're talking about Xbox. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? What about when you adjust Oppenheimer and Barbie box office takes for inflation? Oh, well, I mean, when you do that, yeah, I mean, Gone with the Wind's still way up there and stuff like that, but still, that's pretty impressive, especially considering that, it's not a comic book movie. So I find it interesting that the main thought was that, at least the studios thought, people won't go see two movies at the same time. So if we've got this really big movie, let's get away from the other big movies. But that's not necessarily the case. If it's a movie that people want to see, they'll go see it. And then the Barbenheimer thing happened, and everybody was like, which, I don't know. I think it's nuts. Congrats to Warner. Barbie was a fun time. Okay. Eric locked in 4 years. That son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess Barbie was really that good. It's still impressive, regardless, considering the climate and considering how movies have been doing over the last couple of years. They haven't really blown up like that. And Oppenheimer, a mostly talking, R-rated, more mature, wow. I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting. And I hope that the studios realize that it doesn't have to be. Of course, here's the thing, though. Barbie was marketed perfectly, like so well. It was marketed so well. You got Margot Robbie, you got Ryan Gosling. I mean, they marketed that thing perfectly. And Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan, and they made that an event. And it was just like this perfect storm to me. It's just nuts. Oh, no, Rob, in the UK, we have a games catalog, a classics catalog, an EA games catalog, plus monthly games. All are updated every month. This is PS5. Now, wait a minute. But is that the higher tier stuff? Because there's PlayStation. Okay, there's PlayStation Plus Essential. There's PlayStation Plus Extra, and then PlayStation Plus Premium. All of those went up too. I don't know how much because I didn't have the other two. But that still seems like, damn, man. I don't know. I still think it's interesting. The whole thing is interesting to me, and I hope that the studios realize that you get, and hopefully they take the right thing. They take the right idea. It's like, oh, they want to know about old scientists. Let's make a bunch of movies about old scientists. Or, oh, they make let's make a bunch of movies about toys. It's going to happen. There's going to be, a freaking, oh, we need to put out a Teddy Ruxpin movie. No, you don't. You need to tell a good story. And it just so happens to be I don't know. Does anybody want to see the Teddy Ruxpin expanded universe? I don't. You said yes? PlayStation Premium is £13 a month in the UK, never gone yearly. What? Because this says, I mean, right there's $59.99. I don't know what you're talking about. They should make movies based on other toys like G.I. Joe and Transformers. Oh, wait. No, I know, but I just feel like they're gonna take the wrong thing from the success. they made it an event, and it just so happened to work out the way that it did. You had two movies that people really wanted to see, and they made an event out of it by putting them back to back, them watching them back to back and all that kind of stuff. I just hope they don't take the wrong lesson from this. I mean, didn't and the whole thing, which I think was part of the deal, is that, Barbie is Warner Brothers, right? And Warner Brothers intentionally put their movie up against Oppenheimer because they're mad at Christopher Nolan for taking Oppenheimer to Universal. Because, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's what I pay for PlayStation Premium in the UK a month. Oh, yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying now. Okay, so you're talking about a monthly deal. This is the 12-month. Let's see, wait a minute. The new prices for the 12-month. The new prices will remain at a discounted rate when compared to purchasing the 1 month or 3 month subscriptions over a 12-month period. So my guess is that monthly fee will also go up, Phil. Remember when they made a movie about the Battleship board game? I do. And I heard it was awful. But I don't know. I didn't watch it. I like the idea of game passes, but stupid adulting gets in the way of game time more often than not. That's why I stick to PC and Steam games cheap on sale. No, I read you. I read you. I totally forgot about Battleship, though. Yeah, you're right. It's just I don't know. I feel like they're going to take the wrong lesson from that. Like, I don't think that Marvel needed to do, hey, this was successful, so let's do everything we can. No, just worry about telling a good story. Don't worry about a huge connected universe. Of course, when it's done right, it works pretty well. I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the next step is. I just know that seeing a movie like Oppenheimer on the big screen and it be a big deal, as big of a deal as it is pretty cool. I like the fact that movie's doing well because it was really good. I kind of want to go see it in the theater again because I know that even though I have a good sound system, my screen doesn't match up to a big freaking beautifully shot movie. Anyway, what's up next? Oh. So Napoleon is coming out later this year, and apparently Ridley Scott has a fantastic cut that is 4.5 hours. So the theatrical cut is 158 158 minutes. That's 2 hours and 38 minutes, right? Yeah, 2 hours 38. So you're talking about 270, which is exactly 4.5 hours. This cut features more of Josephine's life before she meets Napoleon. Ridley would love Apple, who funded the film, to eventually screen it, but what they have now is hardly slight. Joaquin Phoenix says, it's an astonishing story. Hopefully we captured some of the most interesting moments. I gotta say, the trailer for this looks great. It's Ridley. I'm in. But man, 4.5 hours? I mean, Kingdom of Heaven is 4 hours, right? The director's cut, the ultimate cut. It's close to 4. I think it's close to 4. But hey. Yeah. Has Sony given a reason? No. Not that I've seen. This got announced today. This was announced. Where's the time? This got announced at 10:30 this morning. This price hike. And you're saying get a projector. Man, my living room isn't big enough for a projector. 4.5 hours, ridiculous. Is it though? Because look, I've said it many times, and it's basically just repeating what Roger Ebert said all those years ago. A good movie is never long enough, and a bad movie is never short enough. So if the movie's good, hey, I'm all for it. But if it's just 4.5 hours of, oh man, because what was the movie that I watched? Badlands. That movie Badlands. It was only 90 minutes and it felt like it was 2.5 hours. I ended up appreciating the movie on a certain level. But seriously, that movie felt really long. You don't like Kingdom of Heaven, Phil? Did you watch the director's cut? I love it. I love the director's cut. I think it's so good. In fact, the part of the reason why I haven't reviewed it as part of the Ridley Scott review-a-thon is because I need to watch all the commentaries, and there's like 3 of them. That's like 12 hours. So yeah, I just haven't done that yet. Maybe they'll do a Snyder Cut thing, 4-part streaming series. I thought the same thing. I thought that they might do it like that. But the thing is, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people will binge. I binged all of Stranger Things season 4, I think, all in one day. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that a 4.5 hour movie could work. I just don't know if it would work in a theater. So, but God, 2 hours and 38 minutes is still a long time in the theater. Oppenheimer was... Vermilion is only 89 minutes, I'm just saying. Oh, 2 hours is your limit, Beer Chasers? Ah, man. I mean, again, that's just how I totally agree with that. A good movie is not long enough, and a bad movie is not short enough. Again, when I watched Pulp Fiction the first time, 2.5 hours, right? It's almost 2.5 hours. I looked at how much time was left. I literally just mimed picking up the VHS case because that's what it was at the time. Picking up a VHS case. Looking at how long it was, not because I wanted it to end, but because I didn't want it to end. And I wanted more. It was around the... I'm guessing it was probably around the time that the wolf showed up. Good old Harvey Keitel. I was like, I don't want this movie to end. This movie's so good. But yeah. So, yeah. I'm cool. I could watch the entire Lord of the Rings extended versions in one sitting. I've never done that. I've always wanted to, though. Because I do like those movies, and for the most part, I think they're really well done. Even though there are things that they change that I don't like. I get, Arwen is there kind of off in the background and in the books. She's kind of mentioned and then you don't see her again. And then in the you get the full story. And I say full story, you get the summary of what happened with Arwen and Aragorn in the appendices. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, we don't have a whole lot of women in this. Maybe we ought to boost this part. I get that. But it's still kind of like, man, I would have liked to see Glorfindel, But anyway. Ridley Scott, though, in it, not like his last 3 movies. What was his last 3? House of Gucci, Last Duel. All the Money in the World. I liked All the Money in the World. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And I thought The Last Duel was fantastic. I still haven't seen House of Gucci. 3 hours makes sense. That's when the beer gets warm. Kingdom of Heaven, not for me, but will admit it's beautifully shot. Gotcha. Did I watch Twisted Metal? No, I don't have the Peacock, Mark. I've heard it's really good, though. I've heard it's really good, but I don't have Peacock right now. We've gotten to the point, and I'm talking about April and I, my wife and I. We've gotten to the point now where we're turning off things that we just know that we're not going to watch for a while. And Peacock is one of those where she stopped watching stuff and I stopped watching stuff. So we're like, okay. I can guarantee you that Paramount Plus is next on the chopping block. After that would probably be Netflix. ESPN, Disney Plus, and Hulu, April watches all the time. Not so much ESPN, but we watch it for UFC. But she watches Disney Plus and Hulu all the time. So that's hard because it's a bundle. It's easier to say, okay, we'll keep that. We get HBO Max for free as part of our AT&T plan. I wonder how long that's going to last. But currently, we still have that. And then, of course, Amazon Prime, we have to have that because April buys all the things. So, yeah, Peacock is just one of those that there's just not enough on there right now for me to, it's not worth it for me right now. And plus, I'm not watching a whole lot of, I haven't watched a whole lot of anything. I've been so focused on those DC movies. I finished Batman and Harley Quinn yesterday, day before. Spoiler alert, that movie is bad. That movie was bad. It was so bad. So many times I'm like, this is terrible. This is like really the worst. Like it's the worst one I've seen so far. But hey. House of Gucci is fun if you like bad Italian accents. Even Al Pacino's is goofy AF, and I dug the heck out of The Last Duel. I thought The Last Duel was really good. But I also threw in that shit Alien movie he did with knockoff Ripley, Alien Covenant. Don't know why that film exists. That's a weird one for me. Because I agree with you, it's not good. It's not a good movie. But there are moments that are just pure Ridley and just the like visceral violence that no one does it like Ridley. Like for whatever, I don't know what this is, and this is probably sick in my head, but the way that Ridley does violence, it makes it feel like when I was a kid and you're watching something that you feel like you shouldn't be seeing, you know, like you're like, I'm way too young to see this. This is messed up, you know? That's how Ridley movies, when he's super violent, that's how it feels. And I love some of the alien stuff in that movie is so freaking cool. That even though there's a lot of eye rolls in that movie, there are a lot of things I really like about it. So yeah. Yeah. I'm getting ready to start Batman and Harley Quinn. Good luck, Carbonite, man. That one, it was bad. It was bad. But hey, we just got Max for Game of Thrones and we're getting rid of Netflix. See? And that's the weird thing. And it's unfortunate that we live in the, you know, we're kind of at that point. It feels like a waste of money a lot of times, especially when you're just like, there's one thing I want to watch. And once you watch that one thing, you're like, okay, yeah, there's all of these other movies that are coming out, or these other shows that are coming out, but maybe I'll just wait. If one really takes off and people are talking about it, maybe I'll jump on it. But Netflix, April's been watching a lot too. So she's been watching a lot of Max the last couple of weeks. So we'll see. There might be more on the chopping block. But we had them all there for a while. I mean, we were just like, let's get them all. Bah. And it was nice because you could just say, oh, what show? Oh yeah, I'll go watch it. You know, because I have all of them. You know, and luckily Amazon we had, like I said, for free. I say for free. We pay for Prime shipping. You know what I mean? Prime comes along with that. So it's kind of no brainer. HBO Max we got for free. Disney Plus, we need those because it's Star Wars and Marvel and all the stuff that she likes watching a lot of the cartoons and stuff like that. I love them too. So yeah, that whole thing makes sense. Last Duel didn't grab me, but I will watch anything Ridley Scott puts out. Dude, there are certain directors that are just like, yeah, I want to see that. Like, I know that Bucho hates the creator or the trailer for the creator with, is it Gareth Evans? Is that his name? That doesn't seem right. The director of uh Gareth Evans. Is that right? Rogue One director. Gareth Edwards. Not Evans. Edwards. The new movie by Gareth Edwards looks amazing. And I didn't like Godzilla, the last Godzilla movie, right? That he directed. But there are moments of just pure brilliance that I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this guy. And for whatever reason, that's another one where I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm in. I'm in. Gareth Edwards? Okay, cool. Because there's parts of Rogue One that are like that. That are just like, they're beautiful. But the story just doesn't work for me in a lot of ways. Which is part of the reason why when I heard that they were doing an Andor series, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. I like Diego Luna. I didn't really like Cassian in Rogue One. He was okay. I don't know. Don't remember that trailer. I'll have to rewatch to see why I hated it. It's because of the AI robot thing with the see-through tech through their head. And you said that's creepy. Tryptophobia? Is that what it is? I don't want to just show it to you and, set something off in your head. But I think that stuff is cool. It's like one of the, in AI, the Steven Spielberg movie where the lady's sitting there talking and then she turns her head and it's like, that's awesome. I love that. But yeah. Speaking of theatrical, we got Napoleon. Hopefully, so Napoleon is coming out in the theaters and then it's also going to be going to the Apple TV Plus, but also coming to theaters, Killers of the Flower Moon. It scraps the limited release and will roll out globally October 20th. I feel like Oppenheimer did a lot for this movie because hopefully like Apple and Scorsese are going, oh, people are going to come see this because it's me and it's Leo and it's Robert De Niro and this is a movie that you need to see in a theater, blah, 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 blah. They scrapped the limited release. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for this movie. I am. And that's really all I got to say. But October 20th, because I think what was going to happen was it was just going to come out in limited theaters here, and then it was going to go off to a worldwide digital release, through Apple TV Plus. But now they're doing a global. I think that's cool. I think that's awesome. Ridley's a legend, and the man is getting up there in age. We won't have him forever, so might as well support his movies while he's still with us. I mean, dude's 80. And speaking of, Michael Mann, who is also 80, released the Ferrari trailer today with Adam Driver as Enzo, right? I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, it's Adam Driver and it's Michael Mann. I'm in already. I'm in. So if you haven't seen that trailer, you should go watch that trailer. It's pretty cool. I mean, maybe not right now, but you should go watch that trailer. I wanted to bring this up. By the way, the Digital Bits is one of my favorite sites I go to all the time for my, well, there you go. Concerning matter, cinematic, discological, and what have you. Yeah. Bill Hunt, corresponded with him through email a couple times. Seems like a cool dude. But I wanted to bring this up because I'm a fan of movies, right? And I'm a fan of stuff on disc. He brought this up and it made me go, ooh. Of the titles discussed in the clip, the original Avatar has now been released in 4K Ultra HD, which means there are still 3 James Cameron's films that, if all goes well in authoring and replication, should hit 4K and Blu-ray disc right around the end of the year. The Abyss, True Lies, and Titanic. The last one is obviously Paramount. Our sources indicate that Paramount is likely to announce that one first. The thing to know about these is that Lightstorm is involved in each of them, so the AV quality and extras should be exactly as Cameron wishes them. We're hearing, for example, that they should all be released on UHD 100 discs, which means higher bit rate, which means they will look great. And finally, once these titles are done and out, we're hearing that Cameron's Aliens is likely to be next on deck for 4K release in 2024. Now, The Abyss is one of those movies that I've always liked it. It's never been my favorite, but to get True Lies in 4K, dude, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. I'm gonna buy. I'll probably buy all 3 of those because I really love James Cameron. And I think Titanic. It may not be a movie I watch a lot, but it is a movie that I appreciate. But yeah, yeah, Aliens in 4K, Alien Trilogy in Ultra 4K, please. Well, we do have the first movie, of course, is in 4K. Aliens, part of the biggest issue with Aliens, in my opinion, is probably the rear projection scenes. There's many rear projection scenes in that movie, and they're not going to look great. Okay. They're just not going to look good. The crash of the Sulaco, or the drop ship, when, it's right before, it happens right before, game over, man. Game over. Right. When the thing crashes, the thing's crashing towards the camera. Michael Biehn's running, and the camera, there's a big, basically it's rear projecting the crash behind him, and it looks terrible. In HD, it looks terrible. So I can imagine how that's going to look in 4K. There are a couple of other scenes that are rear projected. I can't remember exactly. Like right off the top of my head, because that's the scene that I always think of when I think of the rear projection in that movie, which is probably why Cameron's always been like kind of pissed off about it. I wouldn't put it past him to recomp that whole thing. If they have the original footage of the dropship crashing, I would not be surprised if he actually cuts out Michael Biehn running toward the camera and all that, and recomposes that scene. I would love to see that, because rear projection is butthole. It's gross. It looks bad. I love RoboCop, but there's a lot of rear projection in that movie, and it's so distracting. It's so distractingly bad. So I would like them to fix that stuff, if possible. Probably not. It probably can't happen. I mean, that's almost 40 years. Oh my God, 37 years ago. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but I wouldn't put it past them to try. So yeah. You're looking forward to Killers of the Flower Moon? Me too. I mean, it's definitely not a movie that I would specifically say, oh yeah. But again, you've got absolutely great actors. You've got Martin Scorsese, who's, I mean, come on. It's Martin. It's Marty, Marty, not Mr. Scorsese. It's Marty. He's awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. Clint Eastwood is 93 and still making films. Yeah, but he's almost done. This next one is his last one, as he says. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. My girlfriend found a wounded rabbit last night, and I had to drive that SOB to a wildlife rehab after work today. Never drove so carefully in my life. JX Editor, I'm sorry for not seeing that earlier. Wow. Interesting. Everything okay now? Yeah, Clint is definitely looking frail now, for sure. What is rear projection? Let me see if I can show you. Okay, here's I know you've seen some of the James Bond movies. You've seen a lot of movies probably from the 60s and 70s. Anytime there's a driving scene, they're driving the car and there's something going on behind them. They're basically showing a movie of someone driving down the street behind them as they're pretending driving the car, and they look bad, right? That's what that is. Rear projection was used. I don't know what the last movie to use rear projection is, but I mean, RoboCop has it, Aliens has it, just a ton of movies, a lot of James Bond movies. When he's driving down the street, when they're showing him driving, they're rear projecting stuff. In fact, I think some of Kill Bill, I think. There are some scenes when Uma Thurman is driving the Volkswagen. Of course, the reason being you don't want to be driving down the road when someone's doing a monologue because you can't record that audio properly. So they set it up on a stage with the rear projection going on, wind blowing the hair, but she can still give the performance. So yeah, that's what it is. It's where you stack 20 beers on a screen. Okay, so you got it. You got it. But yeah, rear projection it's a good technique, but it looks bad. Nowadays it looks bad and it sticks out. And that scene in particular, it just really sticks out. You got it there all right. Once I knew I wasn't ever going to deal with its death, I named it Jasper. Hey, all right. Every time I hear the name Jasper, I think of Ren and Stimpy. It's one of the first. It's one of the first ones that they. Hey Jasper, where's Phil? They put him to sleep. Remember that? No. Well, wake him up. You don't wake up from the big sleep. No. Is anybody Ren and Stimpy fans? No. I was a big Ren and Stimpy fan back in the day. And that was my favorite one. And Phil was one of my favorite characters because of his stupid smile. And they put him to sleep. And then he's back to that stupid smile. It's hilarious. It's true you can't monologue when you're actually driving. The judge said so. That's true. Now, Wraith, I know you're here. I think you're here. I hope you're here. But I'm sure there's other people that are excited for this. Anybody? Anybody excited for this right here? Rear projection, isn't that when you put padding on your posterior to make it more pronounced, the goal being to project one's rear? You might be onto something. But yeah, early access tomorrow. So Wraith, if you're there, I would like to hear if you are going to be streaming this tomorrow night, because I do not have the early access. So yeah. I'm a big fan of John Kay, but don't remember that one. It was one of the first Ren and Stimpy cartoons. It was called Big House Blues was the episode. And it's just one of my favorite ones. It's when they're in a pound. Anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can infer about Elder Scrolls 6 from it. I just think it looks really, really interesting. I was one of those few people that actually liked No Man's Sky when everybody was hating on it. So, this looks a lot like No Man's Sky, but a lot more. I don't know. I just think it looks good. I think it looks cool. And of course I have Game Pass Ultimate, because I'm still paying off my Xbox Series X. So I'm going to play it, but I won't be able to play it until next week. So I'm kind of curious if Wraith is here, if he's going to be streaming this tomorrow night. Because if he is, I would like to see that. I would like to see that. Anybody else? Phil Holland says yes. Yeah, man, and Spider-Man 2. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 looks great. Looks great. I hit the wrong button. This is what I meant to do. I meant to do that first. Now, since we did our my best friend works at Best Buy, got a great discount on my Xbox. You're playing that tomorrow, Wraith. Absolutely, please post that in the Discord when you do that. And yes. And we will come see you when that happens, because I want to play that game. I want to play that game, but I want to see what people think about it. I want to see how it works, all that kind of stuff. Falcro, how's it going, sir? Good to see you. By the way, No Man's Sky is excellent now. Yeah, see, but I was the one that when they started adding stuff, I was like, I liked it the way it was. So I haven't played it. I played when we first got our PlayStation VR, the first one, way back. When we got it set up, I played No Man's Sky in VR with the building and stuff. And I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. I want to do this. But it was also when I was sick. So I didn't have a whole lot of energy to sit for that long. Because I had to lay back because of this. But yeah, so I didn't play it a whole lot. And then of course we got rid of our PlayStation VR. So yeah, I never went back to No Man's Sky. So I love the feeling and everything about that game. The feeling of the world and all that stuff. I really enjoyed it. In fact, when I played it, it was first person only. And the third person was really strange to me. But he suggested I get the extended warranty. I asked what the F I need that for. He said, if it breaks, told him if he's going to break it, I'm not buying it. We went back and forth for a bit. Kicked snot out of each other in the parking lot, stepped on his neck, bashed his face into the concrete. What the hell are you talking about? I feel like you're in the wrong chat because I don't know what you're talking about. But since we had Square Painter on last week, anyway, long story short, turns out he got a bonus for selling the warranty. I got it. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway. Oh, your Xbox. Oh. What? That is a crazy story. Now that I'm reading through it again, that is a crazy story. If that is all true, that's crazy. But like I said, since we had Square Painter on last week, we couldn't talk about this. And I wanted to see if anybody had any thoughts on this. Because, man, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm going to watch it. And I'm probably going to review it. Because if nothing else, it'll probably be a popular thing to review. But does anybody have any thoughts on if this is going to be a good thing or not? And the fact that there's two cuts of both films. The sequel is already planned for April. And there's going to be two cuts of each one. Right? So if you didn't know, I guess I should explain that. We did cover this on the show before, but not everybody watches every show, and I get that. But so Rebel Moon, the first movie is coming out in December. There will be a full-fledged director's cut, Snyder cut, if you will. And it's going to be full all-out, action, violence. I'm assuming R-rated to the nth degree. And then there will be like a family version, a trimmed down version that families can watch, because Rebel Moon was based on a treatment that he did for a Star Wars film that he actually uh he he went to Lucasfilm and said, "Hey, I want to make this Star Wars," and they were like, "No." So then he goes to Netflix and retools it to be his own thing. So it's got some Star Wars feel to it. Yeah, I don't know. And the thing is, I think Zack Snyder is a talented director. He's not the most talented writer. And that's what scares me a little bit. But look, who knows? This could be great. This could be a lot of fun. So we'll see. I'm very interested, but I'm really hoping it's good. The story and characters better be damn good for me to be interested. That's from Wraith. And then Bucho says the trailer looks generic AF, but if the reviews are good, I'll head out to see it. Well, I think it's only going to be on Netflix. So, has there been any news? I don't think there has about this going to Rebel Moon in theaters. Everything I see here shows it's not going to theaters. Okay, Rebel Moon. I'll just show you. Rebel Moon director Zack Snyder breaks down why he's so pleased his movie will premiere on Netflix rather than in theaters, and it is largely because of his extended cuts. During a conversation with Polygon, the filmmaker explained that he doesn't enjoy the current model of theatrical releases, insisting that releasing Rebel Moon on a streaming platform is the ideal method of distribution for him. With this, I was not super interested in a theatrical release, especially with the PG-13 versus extended cuts. I feel like with the theatrical release, the way the model is, it takes some energy out of it. Ahead of the movie's debut on the service, Netflix has confirmed that 2 different versions of the film will be available, with Snyder's director's cut adding approximately 30 minutes of new footage. So, yeah, there you go. Speaking of Snyder, I recently watched the new Flash, and it was kind of like the Kenobi show, where despite varying quality footage-wise, it's pretty useful for making a follow-up to Justice League. Yeah, I agree. And I actually, again, not popular. A lot of people didn't like the Flash, but I really enjoyed it. And I thought it tied in a lot of different things. And it made it feel like part of the family, which is I really enjoyed. I just enjoyed the whole experience. And I thought Ezra did a great job. I know. I thought Ezra did a great job. I couldn't care less if it's I could care less. You could or you couldn't. I couldn't care less. I could care less, which means you could care less. No, I could not possibly care less. I don't know, whatever it is. I always get those confused. I couldn't care less if it's R-rated Star Wars. I want it to captivate me with its characters and plot that would make me anticipate the second movie. That being said, it does look beautiful. It does. It does. You wish it did more with its villain. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot there where it felt like there was a lot of sidestepping that had to be done because of all the changes being made. And I thought overall, I feel like I can't remember the director's name. He directed it. I can't remember his name, but I thought he did a great job. Let me rephrase that. I wish it did something with its villain. Oh yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. The movie felt very pieced together with a bunch of different ideas, and I felt like Sasha Cal, is that her name? I feel like she was a bit wasted, but I liked her in it. like I liked Supergirl, was like, wow, Andy Muschietti, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I thought he did a fantastic job with what he had to work with, but there were a lot of issues. But again, I just couldn't believe how much I liked Ezra in the role. I mean, I really got out a lot out of it. But yeah, I mean, one of the least successful DCEU movies ever. Bummer. And I didn't see Blue Beetle either. So yeah, there's that. Um and then there's also, did anybody see, I posted this in Discord because I was excited. And that is David Fincher's The Killer with Michael Fassbender. I mean, you had me at David Fincher, but this one is going to select theaters in October, and then Netflix is bringing it to Netflix November 10th. I'm super excited for this one. And of course, full disclosure, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are doing the score, so of course I'm going to be watching it. But it's David Fincher. I love David Fincher. And this looks like, again, this could be because I didn't have much sleep, but the trailer made my head hurt a little bit because it was so jumping all over the place. I'm really kind of wanting to watch it again when I've had some sleep. I think I've had like 4 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours, 36 hours, whatever. Yeah, my girlfriend watched it with me and phrased it as, oh no, I like his portrayal of the character, but he kidnapped a Native American girl. But did he? And that's the thing. I don't know. But I read something that made me think that there was a lot of miscommunication when it came to the media, and it's basically like they were releasing a story without the whole story. And that was completely overblown. I could be wrong. But as usual, the internet got a hold of it, and now that's the story. So this is one of those things where I'm not completely sure Ezra Miller is guilty of all the things that everyone says that they did. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sounds like Fassbender's character is having trouble with going by his code of killing. Cinematography looks so good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this looks fantastic. And I'm excited. So that's yet another movie, along with Killers of the Flower Moon, that I will be seeing in the theater. I'll probably be seeing them by myself because April doesn't like dramas. There are so many times when I'll come home from, like, Oppenheimer. I came home from Oppenheimer and she goes, what'd you think? I said, I loved it. You would have hated it. And she would have. She would have hated that movie. No question. She would have hated that movie. So, I guarantee you she's not going to be up for that one. Which is, it's a bummer. Like, she doesn't like good stuff, I guess. I don't know. Just kidding. I'm kidding. So, yeah, between that, so Killers of the Flower Moon, we got The Killer, we got Ferrari, we got Napoleon. Some pretty badass movies looking. I mean, I'm excited. No, we haven't watched Barbie yet. She said, I asked her if she wanted to go see it, and she said, I've never liked Barbie my whole life. And I don't care. And granted, it has to be something that she really wants to see to go to the theater right now. So all of the movies that we went and watched together, those were all movies she was really looking forward to. When she saw the Barbie trailer, she rolled her eyes and was like, no, this isn't for me. I'm sure that she would probably like it from what I've heard, but yeah, she hadn't watched it. And she doesn't care. But she likes action movies more than anything. Like, she's big into action movies, which I thought was really cool when we met. But now it's like, yeah, but she likes she liked Hobbs versus Shaw. And I'm sorry. If you're a fan of Hobbs versus Shaw, I'm happy for you. but I hated that movie. And she went and saw it in the theater with her sister. And I'm like, she's like, do you want to go? And I said, that looks like, no. Nope. Have fun. That's not for me. So, but that's April. But then she'll watch. That's what's so weird. This is okay. I I I, I don't understand sometimes her thought process. Don't get it. Because she will say, "Oh, I don't like dramas." But then she'll watch some Scottish drama show and binge like 4 seasons of it, and it's the most depressing crap I've ever seen. Nothing happens and everybody's crying. Every time I walk in there, someone's crying. And I'm like, this looks like this looks terrible. Oh yeah, her father killed whatever. And I'm like, well, why are you watching this? This is dramatic. And she's like, yeah, but I like it. So I don't know. So I take it you're watching Expendables 4. To me, that's a cinematic universe that has been doing this. I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed the second one. The third one was like, there's some fun parts, but overall, I don't know. That's the first time you've ever said anything that made me think April isn't 100% awesome. It took 17 years, but you finally did it. Well, again, I love watching movies with her. It's so much fun. But it just, man, she just doesn't like the same kind of movies. No one's 100% awesome. Well, except Mr. Rogers. I mean, that's true too. I mean, there's I have so many faults, and I wouldn't even call it a fault. We just like different movies, when we go to the theater, we want different things. Like some action movies I'm all about. But then some other ones, I'm like, I want to go watch Oppenheimer in the theater. She goes, I don't want to watch that at home. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of a movie that would be a good example. Okay, here's a movie she doesn't like. That is a movie that I adore. This movie, okay? I adore it. Crimson Tide. I love that movie so much. It's Tony Scott, it's Denzel, it's Gene Hackman, Viggo Mortensen, James Gandolfini. It's awesome. It's a great movie, and it's almost all yelling at each other. But I love the way it's directed. I love the score, Hans Zimmer. I love that movie. She can't stand it. She thinks it's terrible. And I'm like, or not terrible, but she's just like, nah, I don't like that movie. She doesn't like A Few Good Men. I can watch, seriously, A Few Good Men is kind of up there in one of those movies where if it was on, like if I still had cable and it was on, I'd probably get sucked into it because I just love the performances. I love the dialogue, even though a lot of people rightly say that it's one of those movies that, maybe isn't very realistic. I don't care. I love that movie. Yeah. There are just certain movies that she just won't. She couldn't stand 2001. I think 2001 is genius. Does she like The Crow? Yeah, she likes The Crow. And she can't handle the truth. Darkest Hour. You know what, JX Editor? I've never seen that. And it's one of those that I need to see. I need to see that. In fact, it's available on Netflix. Oh crap. Okay. I just watched that. Darkest Hour. And I will say that I did watch an old movie. I think this is one of those things that I kind of want to do is I've been watching a lot of more recent movies and I've been watching, movies I bought on Blu-ray or whatever, like, Super Mario Brothers, which was fine. It's kind of dumb, and a lot in the real world, but gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous looking movie. But it's okay. It's fine. I get it. I understand why it's popular. It hits all those buttons. Oh, it's colorful and it's pretty and it's kind of funny and peaches and whatever. Okay, got it. Okay. But I've been wanting to watch older movies or movies that, movies that I never got around to seeing or movies that I've heard about and just never, and one of them or two of them are recent Criterion releases that I want to watch. So I'm going to be renting these hopefully like in the next couple of weeks or whatever. After Hours with Martin Scorsese, Martin Scorsese directed, Griffin Dunn, Terry Garr. There's a whole bunch of people in that. Whole bunch of people in that movie. And then Blowout. Brian De Palma directed, John Travolta, Nancy Allen, and John Lithgow. I want to see both of those. I've heard about them so many times and never seen them. So I want to watch those. I watched another one. A different one that I've heard a lot about. I've heard people talk about it and talk about how great it is, and I've never watched it. And especially since William Friedkin died recently, I wanted to check out Sorcerer. And I wanted to talk about it really quick before we end the night. Because I got to be honest with you, I am freaking tired. So, I still have April's Christmas card displayed on one of my shelves by my desk, by the way. I can't even imagine being talented enough at crafts to make anything that splendid. Bucho, that will make her day. In fact, I'm going to... I just screenshot that. I don't know if you heard that. I screenshotted it. Watched 29 movies this month. Need 2 more for 31. Holy crap, Carbonite. Wow. Familion is only 89 minutes. I'm just saying. That is not a good movie, though. But this. So you might look at this and go, okay, what's the story here? What's the story? Sorcerer came out 1 month after Star Wars in the theater. William Friedkin, who had just, he'd won, Best Picture, Best Director, I think, and probably more for The French Connection in 1971. The Exorcist comes out in 1973 and goes crazy. So he's basically able to do whatever he wants. Okay? He made this movie. And it's based on The Wages of Fear. Based on the novel The Wages of Fear. About these 4 men who have to transport basically dynamite that's been leaking. So it's very unstable. They have to take this nitroglycerin dynamite through the jungle to an oil well that is basically blown up, and they're paid like an extreme amount of money or whatever. So it's William Friedkin. So of course he decided to make all of them, darker or criminals in some way or form. It's such a weird movie. Okay. Here's some more interesting things. This movie had a budget of $22 million and it made $9 million. Okay. Star Wars had a budget of, get this, $11 million. So a movie about driving a truck through the forest cost twice as much as Star Wars. And of course, Star Wars made $50. I don't know how much Star Wars made. Star Wars made a lot, though. I'm pretty sure Star Wars made a lot of money. So anyway, this was his big dud, right? But he felt that he made a fantastic movie. Roy Scheider is he's definitely giving it his all in this movie. This is a few years after, or 2 years after Jaws. Originally, William Friedkin wrote the role for Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen had just gotten married. He wanted his wife to be a part of the movie. And he's like, well, I can't just write an American woman. This takes place in where does it take place? In Colombia or Is that right? South America somewhere. It may be Colombia. Anyway, it was filmed in the Dominican Republic. I'm just rattling this stuff off of what I've read and seen over the last couple of days, okay? So yeah, it was just it was an interesting movie. It was an interesting movie. And that scene is intense. And it's just an intense movie. The first hour is pretty much set up. And the second hour is, okay, we got to do this. And it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. So there you go. Probably ripped that out of the theaters for more screenings of Star Wars. That's exactly what happened. It barely got a chance. And Universal and Paramount shared the budget for it, and they didn't promote it very well. So I just thought it was really interesting, and it was one of those movies where I'm like, I've heard about it. I seriously had no idea what the movie was about. I heard William Friedkin, sorcerer. It came out a month after Star Wars, but a month after Star Wars, but everybody says it's one of William Friedkin's best. I recently bought The French Connection on Blu-ray. I want to buy that new 4K Exorcist because that's a great movie. I want to get To Live and Die in LA, which was made in 85. Another movie that didn't do crazy good at the box office. But I like William Friedkin as a director. So yeah, I wanted to see it. I rented it for $2.99 and had a great time watching it, even though it is a little bit slow at the beginning. I'm actually curious if anybody else has seen this movie because it's one of those where I wonder if people do other people like this movie? I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say I loved it, you know? Anyway, The French Connection is probably, at the time, probably the ultimate cop movie. Okay? Exorcist comes out and becomes probably the best horror movie ever. And he probably thought he was making another instant classic. And the critics hated it. Nobody went and saw it. It's just crazy. It's a crazy story of a guy that was on top of the world. I mean, seriously, he could do no wrong, William Friedkin. You know, he basically said, yeah, I pretty much did whatever I wanted. And he said, I traveled the world for a couple of years. I had this story kind of kicking around in my head. And then we started working on it and started working on getting people involved. And he said, even though I like Roy Scheider, and I think he did a fantastic job in the movie, he's not the right man for this role. You need a bigger star as the main character. And I kind of agree, even though I like Roy Scheider in it. It's I don't know. It's an interesting story, especially all the behind the scenes stuff. And then what I ended up doing is I went down the William Friedkin rabbit hole and started watching some of his interviews and stuff. That guy, man, he says it like it is. He talks about Al Pacino and he says, I don't give a crap what he thinks. Because he made Cruisin' a few years later, which is basically about, he goes under, there's a murder in the homosexual community. And so he goes undercover to try to find the bad guy. I don't know anything about the movie other than I've heard many people say, yeah, this is Al Pacino's worst movie. And then, yeah, hearing some of the stuff, I'm like, yeah, that sounds weird. So anyway, the guy made back-to-back duds, at least box office wise. So anyway, it's interesting because dude, okay. This is a weird one to say, but I love The Exorcist. I love what he did with that movie. That movie is so damn good. The French Connection I've only seen a couple of times, maybe only once all the way through. And that's why, I bought it because, he'd recently died and I was like, oh yeah, I want to get the Blu-ray. And then it was $100 and I'm like, okay, I'm not buying that. And then I saw it on sale for $12 or whatever. And I said, okay, I'll buy it. So yeah, that's a thing. But The Exorcist is, man, it's a movie that sticks with you. And man, to make a movie like that is that is someone's like guidepost. You know what I mean? It's like a landmark of quality. You know what I mean? The Exorcist is a fantastic movie. Yeah. So it makes me interested in him as a director. So there you go. And the thing is, I'll tell you, I watched To Live and Die in LA not too long ago and was kind of like, okay, it's not bad. But now I want to get the 4K so I can watch it again in 4K, but then hear his commentary because I think William Friedkin is fascinating. That guy is, well, I mean, he just recently passed away, but man, that guy has he doesn't pull punches when he's talking about stuff. It's a kind of interesting, refreshing to hear this I don't care attitude. I'm just going to tell it like I see it. So, anyway. So that's pretty much the show, I think. Oh, I love the film used in Exorcist. The film. What do you mean? What do you mean the film? Like I don't know what you mean. I love the film stock that they used. Like the colors. Okay. I got you. Great show, Rob. I love you, man. Appreciate what you do. You know what, Rufus? I love you guys too. Seriously. I mean, this is one of those things where I have a hard time saying things like love because it has a deep meaning to me. But seriously, the fact that you guys come and hang out every single week, you just don't understand what that means to me. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here. The 70s had some masterpieces released in that era. They absolutely did, which is kind of why I want to go back and see some of those. You know, they're fun. Thanks for streaming. Good show. Thanks for the stream. Have a great night, everyone. Carbonite, not Gary. Seriously. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You've shared too much greatness to not love you. Oh. Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I don't know if I always feel like I'm not worthy. But thank you. But anyway, you guys have a great, hopefully I can. Hopefully I can, Rachel. Hopefully tonight I can just go to sleep and just, it'll be great. And Bucho, of course. I mean, come on. And all of you, maybe there's somebody in chat or somebody in watching the stream that you're never in the chat. You're hanging out. You're just lurking back here. Thank you. I appreciate you too. But anyway, you guys have a great week. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Again, because of Ahsoka coming out on Tuesday. I'll do my review. And then we'll come back here and stream on Wednesday. We'll see you next time. Bye. That's weird. My voice cracked. Bye, guys.